Everyone has a story. Stories have power.
Chef, great to see you. Good afternoon.
They help us understand each other.
You've done a gorgeous job with
This is Jessop's Journal. Well, Chef Imi, it's time for you to sign into Jessop's Journal.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure and my honor.
In this episode of Jessop's Journal, I'm with Chef Imi. I've followed this guy for quite a long time and want to see what he's up to now. So, Chef Imi, thank you so much for coming on Jessop's
Thank you
Journal.
very much for coming.
So I used to have a restaurant in Ivans. So now you're here in St. George. So number one, thank you very much. Beautiful place. Now, I'm going to tease you a little bit. You have a slight accent.
Yes. Oh, you're very nice. I have a very big size.
So where are you originally from?
I'm Hungarian.
Hungary. Okay, now I've been to Hungary, Hungary, I should say, a couple times. So where specifically in Hungary were you
Budapest, the capital. I was born in a country, but age of 2 years, my family moved into Budapest, and I grew up there, and I've been lived there until I moved to America.
Well, I can actually say I've been to Budapest a couple of times. I love it. And, it was kind of fun because I remember one of the fun things was to go dine, and they had the little river boats,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so that was a blast. So you go from Hungary, and don't say plane, train, or automobile, but how in the world did you get from Hungary to the United States?
You know, that was a great story. After the communist regime, I grew up under the communist regime, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And when they started falling apart, we were like kind of like think leaders, and a huge group, about 60, 70 people, we came to America to see how the real world works, and bring it back to Hungary, and try to transfer the good one of the communist regime. And the group was political, police, military. I was from the culinary, winemaker, and also a folk dancers group, one of the best professional folk dancers group. And because of that, the St. George Utah's Jazz Festival was on that time, and the organizers invited the whole group over here to have the Hungarian folk dancers to perform for the Utah's Jazz Festival.
Oh.
And they did such a great things. I never gonna be appreciated enough. Instead find a hotel for the group, they find the host families. So every family gets 2 of us, and by myself with one of the Hungarian military general, went to the family. They are still best friend of mine, even today. So many years, the Christians' family. And because we don't have to do anything with the folk dancers, they just took us everywhere. And I went to Zion, and I couldn't close my mouth. I was just felt like Alice in Wonderworld. That's something what you cannot get in Europe. You can have beaches, ski resort, mountains, golf course, whatever what you want. But that is special.
So coming from the communist, era and everything, was there anything that kind of surprised you about coming to America? Something you didn't expect?
Not really, not really. The truth, the education in Hungary, even under the communist regime, was pretty high. So we knew a lot about the world, and we knew a lot about America. Maybe not by eyes, but by knowledge. So was only probably new, and that was a very good part. I felt a freedom, and I felt the security. So we went to the huge mall, and lots of cars, thousands of cars. Window down, bag in a car. I said, oops.
Yeah.
Good luck, try this to Europe someday,
Yeah.
Not just a bag, but even a car. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And that is a great thing. And still today is prices. I think the people who live here has to be appreciated and recognized that for the leaders who created, the city leaders to country leaders. You can walk without any trouble in the middle of the night. You can go to the school. You can let the kids go to the school. No problem, no trouble. That is priceless.
Yeah.
Seriously, especially this time of the life.
Well, now you talked about school and how you were training in culinary. So, was there food in your family, or how did you get interested in the culinary side of things?
Ooh, it's hard to say. It wasn't anything. That was just a personal feeling. I always loved to see the restaurants. We had 2 restaurants nearby how I went to school, and we went to celebrate once in a while into a restaurant, and I love the food, and I love the atmosphere. Really cannot. After me in a family, numerous person became a restaurateur, but not before me. That was just a feeling, just came.
Now you have children that are in their 30s, and then you have some fairly young children. Are you passing on that knowledge and that kind of
I think
spirit?
so. I think so. 2 of my older boys is growed up next to my feet in the restaurant, so they worked with me as a server. They are very nice kids, but the hard labor in the kitchen is you got to be crazy to love that, you know. And they choose on the floor, and also not working anymore in a restaurant business. One of them is working for Dell, another is just moved to Colorado, and restaurant is a tough job.
Tough job, yeah.
Only recommend to culinary for the people who really love that, because the effort and the knowledge what you put into it is not always equal with the money you can make. So most of the time, with the same knowledge and the same physical labor, you make almost everywhere a lot more money than a restaurant. Restaurant business is the lowest profit margin. But you know, it's never hurt me. Never hurt me. I never been looking for to be a billionaire. If they got punish me with some money, I'm not gonna run away. But never lead me. So what was my payback is creating an experience, bring a smile to my guest face, and that you have to have this feeling make you feel good to working at this environment.
I would think, because I've always wanted to get back in the kitchen. I'm just going, okay, because you see all this presentation and all this stuff, you know, that you guys do, and it's got to give you a kind of a sense of accomplishment to create something so beautiful.
Yes, definitely,
And
definitely.
So, you know, you told me once, you know, something, and I admit I'm going, okay, now I got to find this one out. So you told me, now see if I understand this right. You used to be a chef for Hungarian royalty? How does that work?
Yes, not just a royalty, even for like George Bush visited in Hungary or
Really?
a very high. Yes, after the certain level of education, even under the communist regime, they would check you, even FBI, check me all over, back and forth, because if you want to working for like that level, the Hungarian parliament or something like that, you have to be clean. You know,
Yeah, I guess
not
that
a
makes
criminal,
sense.
not
Sure.
a dangerous person. You know, I can poison someone. Think about it. George Bush is your guest, and I'm cooking or I'm serving for him. So I could make a big mess. You know?
Okay, gotcha.
And after that, when you are in this level, they just pass you here and here, and something happened. They just call you and get you there because they know you are knowing what you're doing, and you are responsible and reliable, and you are secure.
Do you remember what in the world you made for George Bush?
George Bush was visiting in Hungary. That was, if I could remember, 1982 or 3, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. and he had a gala dinner, and at that time I was working at the Hyatt Regency, and because the executive chef was world champion gold medalist, and you know, I always called the second place for a first loser. So because of
Okay.
Because of that, I became a head server.
Yeah. Okay.
Normally, by myself, I'm not really just a chef or street chef. My idol was in Hungary. His name is Károly Gundel. In English, you can say Gondel, but is Gundel. He was the biggest restaurateur in history. And the restaurateur is someone who knows the back of the house and the front of the house, and plus also have a contact with the guest. Like a chef owns restaurant, and or a private chef. How can I more describe that? And I call myself restaurateur. Also, I have awards from the Chien de Rôtisseur, also restaurateur award, and I think that is important. I spent half of my life in the dining room, half of my life in the kitchen. That's give me pretty much a little bit more variety what I'm doing. And some chefs like to cooking like, okay, this is what I made, I'm very proud of it, and here it is, and you have to love it. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, you know. And some really create something very special, and you have to enjoy it, you have to like. But my aesthetic is a little different. What I like to do, I like to meet my guests.
Yes.
I like to see your guests' eyes. I read you, who you are, what you can really enjoy. When I'm talking about the food, I explain the food, how I make it. I can see when their mouths start watering, their eyes start shining. So, and
have you seen mine shine? So I get it.
You get a lobster.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I do.
And that helps a lot for. I want to create the dinner for you, not for me.
Okay.
So when I was young, I was very ego. Oh my gosh, I thought God and me right there.
Oh dear.
And now it's a different. You know, now the years goes and you realize how much you don't know. When you're young, you think you know everything. When you get a little older, oops.
Yeah, you realize exactly how much you don't know.
Correct.
That is true. What's your favorite thing to cook for guests?
I think you were thinking about it a long hours to ask me that question, to give me a hard time. So it's really difficult to say. Just like how is your mood, how is my mood. If you like cuisine or if you like food, you not just stick with the seafood or just stick with the red meat or duck or something because of your mood. What I really can say is the best if you try to combine the good from other countries with your own and figure those, so put together and start with a puzzle and create something special. One of the food like that is what I'm having is Arigostsa filet. The tenderloin, I treat them special, just like in France in the good old days. And the tenderloin cost me only a couple of dollars, maybe half an hour, and I say 40% on a price instead buying a aged tenderloin, and probably even better than just the aged tenderloin. And I put a little white asparagus, béarnaise sauce, and the sliced lobster tail on it.
Oh yeah.
So now you get surf and turf. That's a great thing.
So you can make anything. I mean, you're a chef.
Oh, not that much.
So I realize that, you know, when you're not at the restaurant, okay, and you're just at home and you say, okay, you know, chef, you want a little something, you want a little nosh. What's your go-to?
Ask my wife.
Okay.
Make me a nice Filipino food.
Okay, well, there you go. All right. Well, you know.
No, I'm joking. I really like a barbecue at home.
Oh, okay.
because it's easy. I still can enjoy the time with my family,
Yeah.
you know, with the kids playing,
Sure.
and just play with the fire. I love the smell
Yeah.
of the barbecue, and the patio and the house, and
Just the whole experience.
yeah.
Well, talking about whole experience, you know, the one of the underwriters for us is Rustico, and this is my journal. I mean, this is literally Jessop's journal, and you know, and they've made one for you there too.
Thank you so much. You know, it is not just beautiful, because it's beautiful, but also a style, and also nature. You know, how can I tell you? There's so much plastic around. You know, I really like the originality. You know, the real material, and something what is almost make me cry.
Yeah.
That paper is washed, hand-washed paper. And I had a restaurant in Santander in the last time in Hungary before I moved to America, and one of my friend was an artist to make that, and was no in the beautiful leather. That was a different material, but the paper was the same. And he made me a big book and give it to me in the last day. So Imi, when you go to America, have your guests to sign in the restaurant that for you, and you remember me. So that was a really touchy. You know, when some people had one friend as a lucky man. If you have a lot, that's priceless.
Yeah.
And
Well,
thank God I have a lot of guests, mostly from the restaurant,
yeah.
because I love my guests. They feel it, and they come back.
Chef Imi, thanks
you.
again for coming on Jessop's Journal.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for that beautiful gift. I'm gonna have a special space for that in my restaurant.
Chef Imi, we have some lovely gifts as a thank you for coming on Jessop's Journal from our underwriters. First off, it's Jessop's Journal, so you got to have your own journal from the folks at Rustico. The folks at Ogden's Own Distillery have given you a very lovely adult beverage pack, which I think you'll enjoy. I've been known to wear a couple hats, and my hatter, JW Custom Hats, is going to make you your very own hat. The folks at Taylor Cooperative make all of my shirts and my custom suits. They're going to make you a custom made-to-measure shirt. And then, of course, we have the folks at Liquidirt, my organic green thumb guys. They've given you this beautiful plant. And, you know, that's kind of a pretty nice little gift pack. I think we'll
Thank
go
you
with
so
that.
much.
The thing I want people to remember is that stories have power. They help us understand each other. With another entry into Jessop's Journal and Chef Imi, I'm Doug Jessop, ABC4 News.